Hello and welcome, my name is Nilaus and this is episode 9 of our Let's Play campaign of Factorio. What we're going to do today is start up on the Advanced Autonomous Industries. We're going to make some automation of the forest clearance. Forest clearance, is that a thing? Yeah, I guess it is. First, I'm going to enable the green signs because that has been stuck. Actually, it hasn't been stuck, it just hasn't been started yet. Let's see, what is it we want to get first as part of the green science? Range, speed, well, they're nice, but I think I actually want this one first. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, do I have enough of everything? Yeah, I think so. What I will do now is, the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I can send here I have some space. All right. Get you out there to clean up more area. I'm going to take this space here and just start building. That means I'm going to take... I need some power. Good. Got it. And I need some lights. There. We are now in action. Now the very first thing I want to do is actually scan, or I want to send... How do I say this? I want to make sure that I can send a miner, one of these things, to an area that I have marked out as forest. So the way I do that, the very first thing I need to do is build one of these zone planner. Basically what this does is you have lots of options. So for example, this part, this is how I mark trees, and I can remove it by holding shift click. This one is how I mark sapphirite, and again remove it, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be sapphirite, stereotyte, rubite, ammonium, ruthenium, duvalite. So all of these are here. Maybe that, no. And then I'll mark this as parking lots, the purple one as parking lots, and I think the magenta one for attacks. And this one, of course, will be coal. So all of those are kind of already used. I have the teal, the purple, and the pink, and actually the olive as my residuals. Now, so basically what I want to do is actually say, hey, this area, that's going to be forest. I'm going to fix the fact that I misplaced, but let's just be able to send someone there. In order to do that, I first need over here, I have these four, just make a bit of an introduction to it. I have the tile scanner that basically looks at the content of a tile. I have a zone scanner. These are basically radars, all of them. Zone scanner that looks at the content of a zone. You input a zone color, and then it goes zone color and number. The unit scanner scans a particular unit. You input a unit, it'll tell you where it is and what it's doing. Unit data scanner is slightly different from the unit scanner because the unit data scanner gives you some input about what it has been programmed to do, like slightly what the constraints are, but it gives you some different. And then you have zone controller to apply something with zones, and you have the unit controller to apply something to a unit, and lastly the unit data controller if you want to change the programming or conditions of the. Never really used this, so the ones we need. Now in order to do this, I'm going to make a zone scanner, and I'm going to make a unit controller because I want to scan a zone. That's what we do here. Let's try and figure out how I want to build this, because I want to build it sort of within the confines of, I think this is how I want to build it. There. I want to try building it sort of within these squares here. So this one is going to take an input. So let's for the sake of trying it. Oh no, I know what the one I need more than anything else is a second line down here. For sure. I'm gonna need a lot of these. Once that's done, I'm going to change to another tool belt. That's also a green science. Come on. Oh, I also need, of course, my... No, not a loader, but a tool belt. Where's the tool belt? There it is. Thank you. One of these. I need one of those. That'll keep me going. So this one will input zone ID, zone color at least. The way it works, see there's a new one, zones. And I'll take this one. If I mark number 1, that means it is the first green zone that has been placed. If I mark it as -1, it will be the last one placed. If I mark it as obviously the 10th, then it's the 10th one. But I'm just going to say it as 1. So let's just do a very simple one and we will improve it later on. So there we go. Input it here. Output comes out, as you can see over the right hand side. It has some output. It has an X and a Y coordinate and some subtile coordinates that are more accurate. And I don't know what they're for. I haven't figured that out. The first one, the 120, is the signal. I can't remember what it's called. It's called number of types of signals. So that means there are currently 120 of those green ones. It's important to know if you want to iterate all the way through them. Now this is where I will then say, all right, this is just a good practice. It's not something that's absolutely must have, but it's a good practice to say, all right, I want to filter out only, oh, the electricity is crap. I should go down and fix the electricity, but I'm not because I'm doing this now. I'll fix that maybe next episode. So what do you have now? These now have outputs as the coordinates. It's excellent. And that means we can now send the unit controller here. Ugh, it's not powered. Ugh, the power is just crappy. And this is using a lot of power. Where is it actually? There. Ugh, it's desperately trying. Look at that. Yeah. I guess I have to fix it, but I don't like it. Green. So that takes the output, and I will then also tell you which one it is, because now I'll have the X and Y coordinates where I want to send a unit, and then I need to tell which unit to send there. Now the unit, it's very important that up here you have the actual, this is just a type of signal, but it's not the right one. You have to go to this one because this identifies the ID of it. So this will be minor ID 1. And if I take this one, green, I combine these and I put it on this one. So you can see now I have all I need. I have an ID and an X and a Y coordinate to send it to. This is what I then put into that one. That doesn't work. I don't know if it actually sends now. This is the very, very basic one. So where is my number 1? Controller. You're number 2. Number 4. Let's actually change it so it's number 2 instead. And see if it moves. See, it moves. Yay! This is the very first automation we've now built. And I don't like the fact that it's just not getting it off. So it's slowly moving to this location. That in itself is pretty damn good. However, this is using a lot of electricity. Oh, I hate the fact that it's not working. Electricity is choking, but I promised I want to do this, so I'm going to do this. See, now it moves to this location and it just stops. Well, that's not practical, is it? So we're actually going to have to build a cleaner, one that goes through every single one of the tiles and cleans it up. And says, is there a tree here? If yes, leave it. If no, then remove it. That's another bit of a complicated one. Let's give that a shot. I will then need to scan a specific tile. And I'll have a zone scanner, a tile scanner, and a zone controller. I'll try to walk through this. We'll start with the tile scanner here, because that's kind of where the process starts. So what we need to do is actually here. You know what? I think I can actually make this nicer. And then I'll take this zone scanner there. Anyway, so what happens is I'll start by saying this is only cleaning up this part. I don't think I've found a way to clean it up, to do a better cleanup or modularize this one. So I'm going to have to make one of these for every resource I have. Now this one will go over and say, if you have one of these, then you +1, and then you output as that. This is basically just iterating. just increasing one up. It'll get the input from this one. Basically says when this is less than, then we use this type of signal, quantity of type signal. Remember over here, it says there are 120 of them. So in here, I have to say, no. What am I doing? Stop that. There. I'm just saying when this is less, then output whatever I have right now. Did that make sense? I'm not sure it did. So when we combine this one basically says, as long as it's less than 120, output what I have. And this one, actually I have to change it. It should go to the input side. And this one is saying, whatever you have, increment by 1, right? Then once we increment by 1, I will gently place it into this input side, which now basically says, okay, what is the next thing I want? I'll just create these loaders, whatever. So here it says 1. Now, if I take this and feed it back into this one, then it will look at this input, which is 1. And then it'll say, is 1 less than 120? Yes, it is. In that case, it's here, there. Now it'll iterate all the way through. Look at that. Now it iterates all the way through until it gets to 120 and then it'll start out over. This is just a continuous loop. There we go. So now I have a continuous loop where it scans every single one. And you can see, so this one doesn't say what's on them. That's why we need the next one, which is a tile scanner. Because then we feed this into the tile scanner and say, basically, look, stuff that you got, put it in here. Then this one is just iterating. What's in there? What's in there? Nothing. Yep, there are some trees. Well, let's then make some conditions, right? Make some conditions here that says, if the number of trees in this field is equal to 0, then we output output the x coordinate, yes. So I'll make this one down here. Oh, now this research is going fast. This one, I'll do the y coordinates. Let's link it up here. You can see here, sometimes it's active, sometimes it's not. And that's where we leave. The last one is we put it into a zone controller. Basically, it basically says, hey, grab this, but no zone. Now it only outputs the ones that do not have any zones. And what happens? They disappear because the zones are reset. And this one will then continue to work. Oops, don't do that. It'll work. And there you have it. I mean, this is exactly how it works. If I use my zone controller again, I just mark a huge area here. Okay, great. Thank you for the interruption. Mark a huge area. Look how fast it just cleans it up. I don't know why it uses that pattern, but it doesn't matter. It just goes through. And these two, oh, that one, I don't know why that one is actually, oh, this just got one. Yeah. This one was sent all way back to this location. But this is our friend. That one. That one is our friend. No? Where's that? Oh yeah, that's the one. We have using number 2. And that one goes to the first one it can find. And in the meantime, this area is cleaning up tags. They're now clean. And as soon as you can see here, this one, I think it's heading in this direction. As it chops it down, look at the green marker, it's gone. And as they are being cut down, these markers disappear. Look at that. And then it goes to that one because that's the first. And as that gets removed, oh, it goes to the next one. And there you have it. So that's like the very first basic one, because now that will only control one. What I really want in this case is actually to control more of them. So if I want all of them to be working on this, or at least a couple of them, then I have to build some other fancy logic. And the easy way of doing this is actually just saying, well, I'll just cover the whole damn thing here again. But the problem is these are using quite a lot of UPS and also a lot of power. So there's a clever way to do it, because right now this one is sending the same signal through all the time, like again and again and again. It just keeps pushing the same signal. Not particularly interesting, right? So what if we built a counter that iterated, and then once it iterated something, it could send input here and here as the green one and that one, right? Does that make sense? I think it makes sense once I set it up. I'm gonna lock these into that place here. Yep. And I'm gonna put the, oops, ones down here as well. Lock them in, because that means when I'm building this, I'll just flip it and then I have what I need. Great. Okay, that means I'm gonna kill this one, because instead of that, I will build a counter. This is just going to be like a standard counter. This one counts, just use T as counter, output 1. Then it goes into another one. This one says when T is less than, I think I'll give 1 second for each. And I think I have 4. Yeah, I have 4. So let's just make all 4 of them. So let's say this one will go count to 240. 240, what is that, ticks? Yes. Then I'll there input T. So this will be a counter. It goes from there to the input and to the output. Is it working? No. When it's less than, of course. See, now it counts up, and when it gets to 240, it resets. Excellent. Now that's not exactly what I want, so I'll just do a slight multiplication on this. Basically taking, washing. All right, now these signs are coming in fast. And then divide it by 60. That means then I get it in seconds, and I'll output it, just as T again. So it's more straightforward. In, and here we go. This counts 1, 2, 3, and then counts to 0. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I could add +1 to this. Now the next part I want is actually 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll have the first one here, and then I'll use the second one. This one is taking minor ID 2 there, and it is inputting like zone 1, yeah? Or let's stick to tick zone -1. Those are the output signals here. Otherwise it only says 1, but it's probably only room for 1. And then I'll make this. This one will basically, I'll start with this one. This one basically says when T is equal to 1, then take everything that you get in. Means this one goes into all of these. You can see the signals here, and there's more washing. I think these, you can see here, input, there's an output, and then back to nothing again. Well, if I just drag this one output signal up here, then I can take that out, and link it into this signal, and I can link it into that input. And that means actually at this point, nothing, there we go. That's a signal. Then it sends a command. Fortunately, I don't have any, so I won't see that it's working. But this one needs to be replicated. This first one will be 0. Will be 1 or 2. This is a great way of saving on updates. And I actually want to make this is when drive ID is greater than 0. Does it work? Yes. And this one as well. These will then be cleaned up. This will take 1. Take 1. Now that one will be sent to the first. Whoops. These ones, yeah, I don't think I need 3 of these, but this one will just be, I don't know, 5. You know what? I'll go 10. 10. This one, ID number 4, and this will go to the 20th block. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If I look at this content, it sends the signals in, and they go up here. So let's give it a shot with our zone planner, just to see if it works. I'm going to drag a big block here, and that gets cleaned up by this location. And I should see things coming in action. Those 3 are coming in. Do I have a 4th one somewhere? Yes, it's up there, getting in. I don't know if -10 works. I'm actually going to try that. Let's try -10. Wonder if that works. And then I'm going to do another one up here. There. So that should, if this works the way I hope it does. Okay. That's number 2. That's number 4. They should now go up there. This is number 1 and 2. Let's go back in here. Number 1 is taking a positive number. Number 3 is taking a positive number. Let's check. Number 1. That's number 3. So the 1 and 3 goes down here, and these are being cleaned up. And you can see the bigger drag boxes I make, the longer it takes to clean it up. And as I get more of these, it will actually take quite a bit. So try to hit it quite accurately. And for example, now I have scanned this area. Wow, that's nice. That's so nice, Saffrite. I am definitely cleaning up the all of the forest over here. Then I'm going to set up a new base. That's going to be the location where we try it. So for example, this one. This is now stuck at the very last one, the lowest level of the drag box. Sitting there waiting until the cleaning process goes away, and still hasn't. See if it, because there's still some that are not updated. There we go. These are updated. They're being updated continually. Hopefully that's, yep. Now it's no longer stuck. Then it moves to this one. And let's see if it gets removed fast. They get stuck. Oh, and then it got cleaned up, and then it starts working to the next one. Look, that's a pretty easy way of cleaning up the area. That was actually quite easy to set up. If you look at it in the base here, it looks really complicated, but in actual fact, if you just consider how, I think this is the cool part about it. I mean, look at this part. You can, some would say it looks simple, some would say it looks difficult. In either case, it does a tremendous amount of work for just this small thing. I mean, now I can just say, oh, you know what? I don't want to clear some forest. I'll just do this. There. And you also do that. And be careful, just don't like paste the entire world like that. It's that's a bit over the top. What will happen though is that these will now migrate here because they are using the last ones, which means that if I'm really unlucky, they still have some left up here. And I think that's good practice for me to remove that. The reason I want to remove it is because otherwise, when it cleans that out, it has to move all the way up here, and they're quite slow. So they really should try to grab them in one's location. You can see that when they just stand there, like make it like twitch. That's because it gets a command. It gets a command from this one as it circles through this. This one's probably going over here. You can see this is now being cleaned up as well. And I now have 4 miners that are actively mining. And look at the amount of work I can get. Oh, my inventory is full. I think I'll actually... Whoa. There. Okay. And I'll put this over here. So that was a pretty clean setup. Let's just look at it one more time. This is something I'm going to have to do for every single one. Actually, this one will work for all miners. So I just extend this one down and then set some different one. Like, all right, if you're going to go Sapphirite, then mark it as Sapphirite. I can mark this as much as I want. The only thing I need to change is this number. Be And I could also just, I could find out what that number should be automatically. And that one, it has to be replicated for each material, but that's okay. I can do that down here. You're stuck there because you're waiting for it to be cleaned up. Okay, we're going to wrap this one up. You can see I now have 4 miners that are actively working on my commands. I issue the commands. There is a possibility to make it automatically detect, but I don't like it because there are so many tiles that it'll just take forever to scan through them. I prefer doing this because then I can indicate where I want them to go. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. This was our first automation, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to have much more of this these shenanigans later on. All right, cheers, bye.